Okay, what's going on, everybody? It's been a couple days since the Bastion Munich versus PXG match finally began, a match that all of us have been eagerly waiting for because there's been so much hype, so much anticipation, and just overall we wanted to see the payoff of not only Isagi's evolution, but what Rin, Shido, and all the PXG members have been up to, as well as the payoff to Isagi's final battle with Kaiser, Kunigami's chance at revenge, and overall, just who's going to be the final champion of the Neo-Egoist League. We've been waiting so long to see what happens this match, and due to the fact that it started last chapter, I think right now is the perfect time where I can finally give you guys my best predictions for how I think the scoring is going to go. I don't really have full predictions for all the awakenings, character moments, backstories that we might get. I mean, I have a good idea. I think most of us do. If you want to see that, I can make a separate video, but specifically today, I want to talk about who's going to score, when they're going to score, and what the final score is going to be. Really quick though, before we do get into this video, I do want to shout out my Discord. We have a ton of Blue Lock themed events going on there right now, such as the simulations, the draft battles going on for money that we're going to be doing more on lives. And sadly, I did just close down entry for my EAFC 24 Blue Lock thing that I got going on, so sorry for those of you who missed out on your chance, but I gave you fair warning, so not my fault. Anyways, if you're into any of that, or just anime manga in general, or just want to have a cool community to talk to whenever, wherever, it's the best one you can join. Link down below in the description. But besides that, I hope you guys are going to enjoy this video. Grab some snacks, fill those cups, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, so to open up the scoring, it's going to be a shock to most of you because, at least in the comment sections, you guys think I hate this guy. I have Isagi almost solely on the basis of the Egoist 4 theory. This entire thing is kind of based on if Isagi is the one to open up the scoring. However, even though that was the foundation of me putting him as the opener, I do think the more and more I look at this game and how I think that him scoring first could affect the rest of the match, this is probably going to be the best option. But based on everything we've seen, not to mention with Hiyori at his disposal, I can't really see anyone stopping Isagi other than Rin at the current moment, and that's just by man marking him. So eventually he's gonna have to drop off due to the fact that, you know, Hiyori's gonna get involved, maybe Corona will sub in, everyone else on the field is, you know, getting involved. I think with Shido's interest in Kaiser, Rin's not really gonna have to focus there, so he's gonna have a little bit more time to just solely rely on marking Isagi for his own benefit. So we'll see what happens as the game goes along. But for my prediction for the opener, I'm gonna go with Isagi Yoichi scoring the first goal, backing up the Egoist 4 theory, and taking the lead for Bastion Munich 1-0. However, this, it won't last for too long though, because quickly PXG is going to equalize it, showcasing not only what Rin's currently capable of, but shining a heavy spotlight on Charles Chevalier. He's going to have to be a really big part of this match. I mean, he's the main playmaker that PXG has, and unless he can get his shit together and constantly get the ball where he needs to be like he has been so far in the NEL, they're going to be fucked. It's going to be the perfect time for him to showcase his skills due to the fact that it's early on in the match. He's answering back, so it's showing that he'll be able to fight back against adversity and not lose his composure. Not to mention he has Rin on his team, who, yeah, if Isagi scores, he's going to be frustrated, but he's going to be even more pissed than anything, most likely leading to a Berserker awakening, which is just how Rin works. And if he can activate or just enter Berserker by will earlier on in the match, it's going to be a very, very different match than I think most of us were predicting. So due to the fact that we need to see what Rin's capable of, due to the fact that we need to see what Charles can bring to the table, I think them scoring the equalizer makes perfect sense, tying the game back at 1-1 for PXG. Now, I said that Rin would be pretty pissed off if Isagi scored the first goal, and yes, that would be true. However, someone who would be really, really pissed off is who I think is going to score the third goal, going through a rage awakening and taking the lead back for Bastion Munich, that being the new Gen 11 striker who is sick and tired of seeing these Japanese peons basically bending his field to their will. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I think Kaiser is going to claim the second goal for Bastion Munich, the third goal in the match, reclaiming the lead as well as just showcasing, yo, motherfuckers, stop acting like this is a battle between just you two. When it comes to this game, when it comes to these teams, I'm the one on top here, which is again just going to shift the dynamic of the match because now you're going to have to focus more on Kaiser if he's going through an awakening himself. What are you going to do to stop him? Are you going to have to switch up? Are you going to play the same? You're going to still have to worry about Isagi. If you drop something there, you're going to lose something here. It's just crazy. Point is, Kaiser, rage awakening, blah blah blah. He scores the second goal for Bastion Munich and then basically leads to complete chaos on the pitch. And then, speaking of chaos, answering back with the second goal for PXG, tying the game at 2 apiece, we have Shido Ryusei scoring somewhat of a super goal. Now, I don't think this is out of like the realm of possibility or just reasonable. I feel like most people can see this happening, and most people have been saying, oh, I want to see Shido again. I need to see another super goal. And realistically, if we see Shido on the panel, it's most likely going to be a fucking banger. Every goal he scored is a fucking banger. Not to mention he's one of the fan favorites, one of the focus players on PXG, so I think him not scoring would be absolutely criminal. Now, with the game tied at 2-2, this leaves us with one final goal and who I believe is going to score it. Now, this is where I'm a little confused because I don't really know. And that's solely because I still don't know who's going to win. Like, I'm in a weird lull point right now where I don't really see who's going to win this. Mainly just because I don't know how they're going to pivot to the next arc, like the power dynamic that they want to shift. Is Isagi going to be down here? Is he going to... Like, I'm not quite sure what they want to go for. But before, I just sack up and give you guys my best Hail Mary attempt, I got a few things I want to mention. While I do think the star chain system is going to go down and Loki's going to dominate very quick as he enters the match, he's going to be marked by Noah. Not to mention, I do still believe he has some sort of unsettled beef in the past with Kaiser, mostly caused by Kaiser's inferiority complex as well as his ego, just due to the fact that Loki right now is regarded as a better striker in the world than he is, even though he's younger. Even still, with those obstacles, I feel like we will see Loki have some success or come very close to success, but will fall short due to the fact that his trainee that he has entrusted everything to and has sent to the NEL to train specifically in order to make Loki the world's #1 is going to let him down. As we all know, Charles is very young. He's 15. He's the youngest player that we've seen in the series so far. Him and Nico are kind of the same age. I'm pretty sure Nico might have aged up by now. Point is, Charles is insanely talented, just a little bit too young, and I don't think he's going to be mature enough to handle such an intense scenario that this match boils down to. Not to mention, he's going to have to keep up with the God Sprinter. It's going to be a pretty difficult task, and even though Charles may be talented enough to do so, I just feel like he's not going to be able to perform under the pressure, especially when he's got Isagi and Kaiser right in front of him. Not to mention Noah on the pitch as well. If Loki does score though, scratch Shido's super goal, it's going to be a Loki super goal, and we'll get his showcase, which, I wouldn't mind at all. Or Loki scores the final goal, just showcases, what? If you want to see who the best U20 player is in this entire facility, I'll show you really quick, just to remind you guys and never let you forget that again. But with all that out the way, I'll get into my final prediction. Again, this is my Hail Mary. I'm going to go with Kunigami. Again, one of the biggest story points in this match is trying to see if Kunigami can get his revenge on Shido and just, kind of show out a little bit in the NEL, because he's been getting overshadowed not just by his own teammates, but everybody else on the pitch whenever he's there, because he doesn't really show up very much. He gets like 1, 2, maybe 3 panels, and sure, he scored 2 goals in those, 9 panels, I guess that adds up to 12 at this point. And even though his NEL bid is pretty high to where he's safely on that U20 roster, I think it's still kind of a waste of his talent to just leave him to be this dark horse that shows up and interrupts the play every once in a while, that we think is going to do something and just never get any payoff for. Kunigami had to fight his way back to the wild card, dragged himself through the mud in this NEL, showcased not only through Kaiser's dominance, but through Isagi's awakening as well. Not to mention just due to all the shit that he's been through in the wild card, as speculated by the recent chapter, where we saw the test they were running on him, as well as just what Ego was saying to him. I really feel like Kunigami's owed at least something, and a game-winning goal in a match against someone who sent him to the wild card in the first place would be a perfect payoff to his character arc, and I think would wrap up the story of Kunigami specifically perfectly, because then he can set up on his own path, not one that Ego's created for him, but one that he makes for himself, due to the fact that now he's forged this body. He can find his own Ego from here. I don't know, he's probably not going to let that happen, and Ego does still have a say of who gets on the U20 roster, so I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, those are all my predictions for who I think is going to score in the PXG versus Bastion Munich match. Let me know in the comments down below who you guys think is going to score, as well as who you guys think is going to win the match. I'm still kind of on the fence. I do think it's going to be Bastard, even though if PXG wins, I would be happy. Like, truly, my soul would be happy, especially if, a Toshi ring goes crazy, but no, that's just me glazing. Anyways, I hope you went on to enjoy this video. Make sure you leave a like and consider subbing up to the channel with post notifications down below so you never miss another banger from myself. Once again, check out the Discord link down below in the description, and as always, I love you guys. Take it easy.